Now, ladies and gentlemen, after almost 2 weeks of no big updates, Valve have just delivered. Within the same time span of those 2 weeks, CSGO has undergone some game-breaking bugs, is I guess the best way you could put it. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of false game bans happened overnight, which the majority, if not all of them, have been overturned or fixed. But we still have problems like game mechanics, maps, but also skin bugs that are still widespread. At this very moment, that being December 7th, for those who are wondering, Valve have still not officially come out with a statement on social media or even in this recent blog post that we'll touch on in the video, discussing these most recent game bans, which still have a negative effect on players who got banned and now are unbanned, which we'll briefly mention later in the video. That being said, today's video, we're going to break down this most recent blog post, show the important changes, but also shadow updates that were not included. Some of these included are improved movement, and also new finishes for a brand new knife that we could see by the end of 2023. Today's video sponsor is Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is a buying and trading marketplace where you can trade off your old skins for something new. All you do is log in with Steam, then you trade the skins you no longer want to pick up the new skins you want to obtain. Any remaining cash from trading goes to your balance that can be used in any future trade. By using my code Mando, you can get up to a free $5, and if you choose to deposit alongside using my code, you get a total of a 35% deposit bonus. With Skins Monkey's large variety of skins, they also offer daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways. If interested, it'll be the top of the link in the description below. So yesterday in the late afternoon of December 6th, Valve sent out a tweet alongside a brand new blog post. Now this included quality of life updates and fixes to maps. They didn't mention anything about this most recent Bandwave, as I'm sure they're working on some sort of solution and probably an answer for everybody of why this happened and how they can promise it won't happen again. Something I haven't really seen anyone talk about with this most recent Bandwave is what if it was caused by a brand new anti-cheat they're working on? At least that's something to think about, right? Aside from that, we have brand new data mines for Doppler, Tiger Tooth, and dozens of other finishes for the KUKRI knife. Now let's hop into yesterday's blog post. As you can see and tell by the opening sentence of my video, we haven't received a big update in almost 2 weeks now, that being over 1 to 2 gigabytes. The biggest ones we've seen have been 2, 3, and even 4.5 gigabytes and counting. Now let's start out with the gameplay category. They fixed an issue where the player's shadow would sometimes show the incorrect animation state, weapon switching after releasing fire buttons for grenades, that being throwing a nade then quick switching back to your rifle or your pistol or even a knife, will no longer cancel grenade throws, but round restart will. Various animation optimizations, various minor bugs to demo playback, and for the second category up is the UI. They fixed a bug where starting pistols weren't shown in the pistols tab of equipment view, fixed an issue where silencers would not show on weapons held by characters in the UI, and then lastly you move on to the map category. They seem to have patches for 6 different maps, the first one up being Mirage. They fixed a gap under the door at middle. For Anubis, they added a grenade clip to the wall at bridge. For Vertigo, they changed the collision properties on railings to emit the correct footstep sounds. On Nuke, there's actually 4 different subcategories in this one map. The first one up, they fixed the sun material not blooming for adjusted size of the material. The second one up is just pretty much for workshop users. The third one is they fixed visibility bugs at garage when looking towards hell. And then the fourth one up for Nuke is they changed the collision properties on railings to emit the correct footstep sounds, which is the exact same thing they did to Vertigo. Now second and last up is Inferno. They fixed an issue where chimney models would disappear in the skybox. And for Dust 2, they once again changed the footstep sounds to sound more normal. And that pretty much concludes today's blog post, or yesterday's on December 6th. Now as it goes for the most important fix, it's hard to pinpoint this week. Normally every other week there's 1 or 2 things that stand out over the other that are the most important, and here there's not really too much. The 2 biggest things are 1, the sounds to sound more normal, that being footsteps specifically, and then second up is quick switching after throwing a nade to cancel it out. That no longer happens and it's just normal like CSGO was. Now something that wasn't included in the blog post was actually some data mines that Gabe Follower found yesterday. He's a data miner for Counter-Strike 2 and just Valve in general. I suggest you go check him out. He's the guy who pretty much found Source 2 and leaked everything Counter-Strike 2 wise up until its full release. Put out a tweet very quickly after this last update saying the latest Counter-Strike update introduced new changes in game file text and devs pushed something interesting into it. Skins for the future KUKRI knife, Sapphire, Black Pearl, and every single Doppler finish. He says new question mark or a remake of an old weapons case. Some of the workshop artists have updated their old skins for CS2 and maybe the devs will release the old case with them. So this pretty much guarantees we're going to get that KUKRI knife probably pretty soon. Now as it goes for a specific date of when this KUKRI knife could come out, we don't really know. The biggest thing I want to mention is it's probably going to be in a case and not an operation, as we have pretty much next to no operation leaks. For Counter-Strike 2 updates, if it goes for content or major fixes, we usually get something a couple weeks prior, or even months. And as it goes for an operation, we've only had a couple things that, well, don't even point towards a new operation, more so just reused assets from older ones. In order for an operation to come, the game would have to be up to many players' standards, the player base would have to be up, not exactly, but more up than it has been, and meet more player needs before they allocate resources to an operation, meaning no more game-breaking bugs like this most recent vac wave that was just pretty much not supposed to happen. I think a case before 2024 is very much possible, that being within this next 2 to 3 weeks. It would rack in income for Valve and satisfy or more so hold over the players, that being skin enthusiasts and people who just want new content, until the very first operation. And as it goes for an operation release, once again, we have no idea, but it's definitely sometime next year or at a later date. Right now, no one knows anything. This new KUKRI knife has caused some controversy in the CS scene. Most people don't like it as it takes up half your screen or more. The exact same animation as the M9 bayonet and just seems to be more ugly than the rest. best. A lot of people want maps as it goes for content, not new skins. I think it's very odd that we're not getting the Doppler or Chroma finishes and all the Shattered Web Knives first. Maybe they're saving that for an operation, who knows? Now lastly for today's video, I want to quickly mention this most recent Bandwave. As most of you know, this was due to an update on December 4th that just broke the game. Valve later the next day tweeted out something saying it was caused by that update and they're working on, well, removing all those false bans, which they did. But players still have a major problem. If you have some friends, let's just say you got VAC banned, or more so game banned, and you try and play with a group of people that aren't game banned, your trust factor anyway is extremely low, which gives you a higher possibility of one playing with cheaters and just really toxic and bad teammates. And that really messes up things. On top of all that, you have broken matchmaking at the moment, where if you win more than 2 games in a row, you're getting well over 1,200 points, and it's just going to put you in a completely different rank that you probably don't belong in. So the balance right there is not very good. As it goes for a fix, I'm not really sure. If I had to guess, I think Valve is probably working on something as we speak for either tomorrow, today, or later next week. Pretty much concludes this update. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay positively sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.